Okay, so get ready because today we are going like way deeper than just the feels. We're diving into The Fault in Our Stars,
Oh, yeah.
but like not the way you think. They
Hmm.
already know the story, like everybody's cried all the tears.
Of course. Yeah.
We're going to use the film's Wikipedia page to unlock some like behind-the-scenes secrets about how this book became like a total blockbuster.
It's so crazy to think about what happens, like behind the scenes, right? All the decisions that go into making a film, and especially when it's adapted from such a popular book.
Yeah, exactly. And like, this is a good one. Think about this. So like early on, Stephen Chbosky,
Yeah.
the director of Perks of Being a Wallflower, he was actually interested in directing The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh, wow, really?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, given the similar themes, teens dealing with like these huge life challenges, do you think maybe he felt it was too close to Perks? Like maybe it would have been hard to make The Fault in Our Stars its own unique film, you know?
That's a really good point. It would have been so interesting to see what he would have done with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see how that could have been like a concern.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's talk about casting. Because finding the right Hazel and Gus
Oh my gosh.
was like no easy feat.
No.
These characters meant so much to like literally every reader.
Absolutely. And there was so much weight on those casting choices, Apparently, the director, Josh Boone, he knew right away, like, Shailene Woodley was Hazel, like, within seconds of her audition.
Oh, why?
Like, what did she do in those, like, few seconds?
You're right.
To convince him so completely.
I wish we could see those audition tapes.
I know.
But it's interesting because John Green initially supported Mae Whitman for Hazel.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
She's a fantastic actress. Makes
Yeah.
you wonder what her portrayal would have been like.
Totally. Okay, here's another fun little tidbit. John Green himself
Wow.
almost had a cameo.
Stop.
He filmed a scene at the airport, but it got cut.
Oh, I remember reading about this. Yeah, the infamous deleted scene. Green was like, oh, my acting was terrible and all this.
Oh, really?
But honestly, I think it was more about keeping the focus on Hazel and Gus.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for this. So
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Yeah.
played not one, but two roles in the movie.
No way.
It was both Indianapolis, where the book takes place,
Right.
and parts of Amsterdam.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That's so resourceful.
I know.
It really speaks to what John Green said, praising Pittsburgh's film industry.
Yeah, despite all those hills.
Despite all those hills. But, I think more than that, it highlights how the themes in the story are so universal, like it could have been any city.
Yeah.
And the heart of The Fault in Our Stars would still resonate with you.
Totally.
Yeah.
And speaking of recreating things, remember that scene at the Anne Frank house?
Uh-huh.
That interior wasn't even filmed in Amsterdam.
Oh, really? Wow.
They built a replica on a soundstage in Pittsburgh.
No way.
Yeah, crazy, right?
That is amazing.
I know, and like the detail is incredible.
Yeah.
It makes you think about how much that must have affected the actors' performances, being in that immersive set.
For sure.
Okay, this next one's a little bit wild. So, that bench that Hazel and Gus share a moment on in Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
after the film was released, the actual bench was stolen.
You're kidding me?
I know.
It was really stolen.
It was eventually returned, but can you imagine like the audacity?
The audacity.
But it says a lot about the impact of the film, like
Right.
how much these objects can mean to people.
Yeah.
It represented something real to the fans.
It did.
Like, it's crazy how much something like a bench can mean to people,
Yeah.
right? It's like it goes beyond the screen. It becomes like part of their story.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of things that become part of the story, we have to talk about the music.
Oh. The music.
The soundtrack for The Fault in Our Stars is like so much more than just background noise, It's like another character in the movie adding all these layers to the emotional moments.
Yeah, it really is. It's like this beautifully curated mix of artists,
Yeah.
M83, Group Love, Ed Sheeran, Birdie.
Yeah.
Just like such a range, but it all works together perfectly to create this like really moving soundscape for the film.
And like you can't forget Boom Clap
Oh, yeah.
by Charlie XCX.
Of course.
I mean, that song just like blew up after the movie.
Oh, yeah. And it's so interesting how a song can become so connected to a film like that,
Yeah.
It like captures that energy of their trip to Amsterdam, but then there's also this like underlying sadness that reflects the whole like bittersweet nature of the story,
Yeah, it's like you could feel all the emotions just from the music, even without watching the movie.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about the critics? Did The Fault in Our Stars live up to all the hype?
I think for the most part, yeah, it got a lot of praise for the acting, the writing, and for being a real tearjerker, but not in like a manipulative way. you know. The New York Times specifically talked about how it brought out such genuine emotion.
I remember reading that review. Yeah, they were really impressed with how the movie handles such sensitive topics.
Yeah.
But I feel like there were also some mixed reviews too, right?
Yeah, there were, like, The Guardian, they had a bit more of a reserved response, I guess you could say. But even they said the screenplay was strong and the actors were great.
Yeah, it's interesting to see those different takes, you know?
Yeah.
It shows how, like, everyone connects with a film in their own way.
Right.
Speaking of connecting, did you know the studio actually tried to get Shailene Woodley an Oscar nomination?
Oh, wow, they did.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't get nominated, it says something about how powerful her performance was.
Yeah, totally.
And I mean, the movie was a huge hit at the box office.
Right.
It really resonated with audiences around the world.
It was like a critical and commercial success all in one.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it shows that people really want stories that deal with, like, those tough issues, you know? Like illness and loss.
Yeah.
But in a way that's honest and hopeful.
Totally.
And remember that Night Before Our Stars event?
Oh, yeah.
Where fans got to see an early screening of the movie and do a Q&A with the cast and crew?
Oh, that was so cool.
It was amazing.
It really got people excited about the movie, you know?
Yeah, it was such a good idea to, like, build that excitement and engagement with the fans.
Yeah.
And speaking of, like, spreading the love, did you know that The Fault in Our Stars was remade in India?
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. It was called Dil Bechara.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And there's a Chinese film called A Little Red Flower that has a similar premise.
Oh, interesting.
Although it's not clear if it was directly inspired by The Fault in Our Stars or not. But it's cool to see how this story has, like, resonated with people all over the world.
Yeah, it really is.
The themes of love and loss and, like, finding meaning, even when facing death, you know?
Right.
It just goes beyond cultural boundaries.
Absolutely.
It's a testament to how powerful storytelling can be.
Yeah.
Like, a well-made story can truly connect with anyone. But what's really interesting here is that The Fault in Our Stars became more than just a movie. It, like, started this whole conversation,
Yeah.
you know, about life and death and just the power of connecting with other people.
Yeah.
And you don't really see that every day,
Right.
especially with a movie that came from a young adult novel.
You're so right. It became like this cultural phenomenon.
Totally.
And it's interesting when you think about, like, the filmmakers made some pretty big choices, you know? Like cutting John Green's cameo and using Pittsburgh for all those different locations.
Right.
But those decisions actually helped the movie become something special, you know?
Yeah, it's like they trusted that the core of the story was strong enough
Yeah.
to work, even outside of the book.
Exactly.
And it definitely paid off.
It did, and it shows that sometimes, you know, the best adaptations aren't afraid to change things up a bit. It's about capturing the feeling, the soul of the story, and, like, bringing that to the screen.
So, for you listening, what really stood out to you about The Fault in Our Stars? Like, how was it different watching the movie versus reading the book? What parts stuck with you? And if you want even more behind-the-scenes stuff, you know, the film's Wikipedia page is a gold mine.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Of information.
Definitely. And remember, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
There's always more to discover, more to think about, and more to talk about. So until next time, keep exploring and keep those conversations going.